All right,
Let's get jiggy.
So we're gonna exploit your TikTok.
Okay.
We're gonna use you for clout.
We're gonna use you for clout.
Okay.
Show the warrior kneecaps. That's what they want.
Got to put you on Foot Finder.
Bro, she came to me with that bullshit. Look,
He's not trying to.
He's not trying to get a bag. I see.
Not at all, but
Bro, it's Foot Finder, bro.
Dude.
There's nobody you need to worry about on Foot Finder.
Literally.
They're all losers.
Like, I seriously
Also,
want to do
if you
that.
got a foot fetish, you're a loser. I just want you to know
Look,
that.
I just can't deal with the fact you gonna let me be insecure. I don't give a damn.
No.
I was about to say, like, come on.
It's feet.
It's feet, bro. It's feet. No, the weirdest thing is if a nigga that you know is like he's like, bro,
showing you these.
he's like showing me something. He's like, bro,
I'm just
I ain't
looking.
gonna lie.
I'm looking at it like, bro, look at these feet.
Look at these toes, bro. I'd be like, and then I look at them toes. I'm just like, them look mad familiar.
I know those toes.
I'm like, damn, bro, how much you paying for those? He's like, bro, I just spent $30 on this picture. I'm just like, yeah, keep doing that.
Like, seriously. Like, I'm being serious. Like, I do want to do that, you know? Income.
Yeah, income.
It's better. It's better than OnlyFans.
It low key. Yeah, it's better than OnlyFans.
Alrighty then, me.
I just don't like any aspect of exploitation. I think that's
It's my feet.
I think that's
I rarely show my feet.
Don't
you know
even
this.
Well, technically, any picture,
Serious.
any picture you take can be exploited. So,
I'm not.
yeah, no, any picture you take can be exploited anyway. So
That's true.
You know,
That's true.
honestly,
They could upload a whole video if your trajectory in life goes completely up into like what we're doing, and then they'll start making whatchamacallits out of her. You know what I'm talking about? The what do they call them? Fake deeps or something like that. It's like
deep fakes.
Deep fakes. You know what it is? So where they'll put like celebrity faces on top of like a naked body.
No, yeah.
And like make it look like it's real. Like it's like to the point
I've seen
where
those.
yeah, you be like, damn, did they drop a sex tape? No, that's not. It's just it's a deep fake that looks realistic.
But
Yeah,
we're talking about my feet
But
here.
you don't have to worry about that with feet pics. Look, she can post a whole body picture, and then you have one guy that zooms in on her feet. Now he's getting those feet pics for free. See, look at you.
Strange. It's a strange world.
Well, I mean,
Would you let Allie do that?
absolutely. I don't care.
That's
It's
there.
feet pics. I don't care. I don't even like feet.
I don't even like.
You don't either.
You're right.
I don't like my thing is like I don't
I don't have a dislike for him as strongly as he does.
my feet are weird.
He doesn't
I
even
would
give her like foot rubs type shit.
I would prefer people to float. I don't like feet pics.
All right, but still, like, income. You have to think, like, that's money coming in. Literally.
Do what you want.
All right.
Hey, it's super easy.
Like, babe, like, my last 3 chops were paid for. Did you know anything about Yeah. Sure, Dad took care of that.
Don't
I need air in my car.
Hey.
I took care of that.
She gonna buy you a whole PS5 from feet pics.
Better quit
You know
playing.
what? It's getting enticing.
Hey,
Better
I
quit
ain't gonna
playing.
lie.
I'm a good salesman. You know what I'm saying?
You are a good salesman.
Yeah, Foot Finder. Get these simps for feet. Feet simps.
Welcome back to the DWG podcast. Down with the Get Down with your host, Romel, and your host.
Yo, Derek, bro.
I'm dead. Bro. What the
You ever heard
hell?
of feet simps?
The feet simps.
I'm looking it up.
She's looking.
I don't think it's a real thing. I think I just made it
No,
up.
they actually.
You talking about the website?
Foot Finder or feet simps?
No, Foot Finder.
Yeah, no, that's a thing.
That's the thing.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Signing up today. Making a bag. 3 days.
Yeah, man.
That shit's crazy. She's gone down the hole, y'all. She's gone. See, Feet Finder is the segue because in the minute you start making bag off your feet, and then somebody's like, "Let me see a little thigh," and they're like, "No," you're like, "Well, I'm gonna stop paying."
I don't think they're gonna get to that because you go on there for feet. You don't go on there for anything.
They're looking at it and be like, who's attached to this?
They don't care.
They don't even care. They don't. They don't. They're
To be
wild.
fair, I think people that have a foot fetish are weird. Only because, one, I don't like feet, but also, that's not attractive.
People that beat they meat straight to strict feet is like it's a problem.
It's weird.
It's a
like,
problem. For me.
and it's like you don't care about what the person looks like, anything else about their body other than their feet. What is wrong with you? This is why I said people need to get bullied.
She real deal. She over there creating an account.
She's signing up.
She's signing
about
up.
her verification.
She got feet pics already ready. She honestly just zooming in on shit that look good. She was like, "Let me go ahead and put this on here." I'm like, I'm gonna come home one day, and she gonna be putting whipped cream on her toes. I'm gonna be like, "Bro, what the hell?" I was like,
There are people that are into watching women step on things. Yeah, it's weird.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just being in the background of every picture. I'm just being in the background of every foot picture, just vibing. They be like, "Damn, I'm in the background with a cane controller in my hand."
They're gonna be like, I came here for the feet, but now I'm interested.
You could even help me take the best pictures of my feet and go from there.
I just be in the background. I'm gonna make
Put your
every
feet
I'm gonna
together.
make every picture be strategically having me in the background, just doing something.
They're like-
I'm gonna be fixing. I'm gonna be in there patching up a wall, doing some random shit. I'm gonna patch up a wall. I'm gonna be hooking up the game controller.
They're gonna be like, I came here for the feet, but now I'm just trying to see every position this dude is in there.
shit. Speaking of folks wilding and all that stuff, tell me about what the hell is going on. Like, the hell is going on in this city?
I don't understand what's happening. So what was it, week before last? That chick got kidnapped.
Yeah.
She's dead.
Mind, we talking about Memphis, by the way, because that's where we are.
Yeah. Yeah, they murked her.
Jesus.
Yeah. And then this other chick got kidnapped also. They kidnapped her and her kid. Mm-hmm. And then like, what was it? Wednesday, we had the mass shooter dude.
Dude, I was playing GTA in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
On a GTA server.
Yeah.
And then, like, the day after that, there was another shooting. So, yeah. Yeah, so my city's become a GTA server.
So the city is trying. we talked about this on the phone. We said that that Memphis is trying to get their rate up in murder rate, because we were like number 3 at one point. We used to be number 1. We never number one.
No, we've always been, I think, number 3. Okay. And then we moved up to number 2, and I think we dropped back down. And I guess they were like, nah, we need that number 2 spot back.
We need Memphis on the map, but Memphis on the map for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, we're fighting with how the hell are you gonna have like the most like talented people coming out of the city, and like, all right, cool, we're supporting the city and their talent, and then it's like, don't come here because you might get shot. And it's like, oh, I would love to visit Memphis. Nah. Yeah,
and the dude that did it, can you? Well, I don't know what you would classify him as necessarily, because like he was on campus because he went to school there. He's not technically a school shooter because he technically wasn't fully on the campus.
He left campus to go shoot.
Yeah. So I guess he just didn't want the label of school shooter, so he just wanted to go out and like shoot other people. I don't know. But yeah,
which is interesting, because like you don't hear a lot of that with like, because he had all opportunity to just go and light up the school campus.
Yes.
But he decided to go.
I'm glad he didn't.
I'm glad. Yeah, for sure. I'm like, of course.
My girl was at school, so
yeah, your girl goes there, and then people I know they go there.
Well, so my thing is, right, he had been doing this since like 1:00, essentially, right? Mm-hmm. The first person he shot was like at 1:00, 1:30, something like that. And then when things started becoming more on the news and stuff like that, it was around like 4:30. And they caught him at like 8:30, something like that. So, I mean, he pretty much had like a whole shift that he was just going out and terrorizing people. He would steal people's cars. He'd pretend to be hurt so people would go, try to check on him, and then he would shoot him. So definitely RIP to the I think it was 4 people that died.
Yeah, you said 4 people died, and you were like
4 people died, and then I think it was 3 people that got injured, something like that.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm surprised that they didn't, like, when they caught him. I thought they were going to just instantly just light this dude up, but they just took him in.
Well, the thing that's funny, right? So he wrote a suicide note to his mom. So obviously, you would assume that he would want to die by cop, but then he didn't. But he has mental illness. He's been at Lakeside before and stuff like that. So actually, I don't know if I can say that because like HIPAA, whatever. But yeah, he's not mentally well, anyways. So, I mean, it was just one of those things. He probably stopped taking his medication.
Yeah, that's why they tell you to do it.
Which I'm gonna tell everybody this: if you're on any sort of medication for like mental stuff, don't stop taking your medication just because you feel better. Because that's why the majority of people come back.
That's why you feel better because you consistently taking it.
But when you take it and you're like, okay, well, I feel better. I don't need to take this anymore because I'm good. That's when people stop taking it and they come back. And that's not what it's for. It's for you to continue to take it so that you can continue to be right.
Because obviously there's a lack of balance somewhere.
Well,
and you got, and it built you up there because you had to build that tolerance up with the medication to get to that point. And now you got to maintain.
Well, yeah, it's no different than you having to take any other type of like medication every day or whatever, you know.
Well, dealing with like it was a crazy situation and like all that shit happening. Like I'll segue over here to Haven. Since you're pretty much predominantly around like Nashville, Middle Tennessee area growing up. Like, do you think that that's something like what is your take on like the violence compared to that you hear from Memphis compared to the stuff you grown up around? Because you've been in different areas, so you've seen all sides.
Honestly, I try not to even be around with those things just because of things that I have seen. And that's very traumatic. So I don't like to open those trauma wounds at that moment. Right now, nothing really that I know of is really happening in Nashville. Nothing really happens in Murfreesboro like that. If it does, it's like, oh my God. But nothing that I know of has been happening really with Nashville as of right now. There's been a lot of drunk people because I keep up with Scoops Nashville. So there's been a lot of drunk people and like robberies. But as far as like killing wise,
yeah. Well, I guess I'm not to try to make you open up trauma wounds.
No, like
but like to be like, you know, when people like, you know how when you tell them we first heard about the situation that was happening down here, a lot of people from Memphis, our instant reaction is, damn, that's crazy. And then we just keep on pushing. Because we're so like desensitized to like the stuff that happens down here.
it's like y'all are tired.
Yeah, we're just like, yo, what the like kind of like idiot.
Well, I mean that happens to people that are in any area. Like,
Like me, I'm tired.
Yeah, because some people
like,
hear about the
that
stuff and they be like, wow, Memphis is dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, like Chicago, right?
Yeah.
Like, they have way more shootings in Chicago, but the people of Chicago are like, oh, well, that's just like it happens.
Thing.
That's crazy.
I mean, obviously, it's like, you're like, man, that's terrible and stuff like that, but you're just like, well, I still got to go to work tomorrow.
Yeah, that's basically how it is like now. Like, I still got to go to school. Like, I still have to live for myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, and as far as like my sisters who are in that area, because they go to like, one of them goes to Pearl Cone. Pearl Cone's not a really good school. Like, it's just not. But at the time when I went to Whites Creek wasn't a good school either. So it's kind of like we are used to it. We've lived in the neighborhoods. We've seen it. So it's like it is what it is. And as far as like me not being from Memphis and coming to Memphis, I'm used to what is being shown. But it's like, it's a different city. So it's kind of like, fuck. Like,
damn, I thought I was getting away. Nah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think it's also like, for instance, like what we were talking about before, right?
Yeah.
Like, if we're going out somewhere, we don't care. Like, yeah, it can be dangerous or whatever, but like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But like if we're with our girls, like it's a completely different thing because I'm worried about you now. Versus if I'm with the guys, I'm not worried about anything, you know. And so I think that's where a lot of people kind of come in too.
Only time I get worried when I'm out with the homies is if we're drunk. That's the only time. Yeah. That's the only time. And it's been like anytime I've been with like you and then Jacob, any of our close friends, whatever. When we're always in safe areas. We're always in areas where we don't like when we go and kick it. Halftime, if we drinking or whatever we're on, it's gonna be at somebody's crib, or we're not too far from the crib, to where we can get A to B real quick.
Yeah, but we drink responsibly.
We do drink responsibly,
you know. So it's never like that.
She made a look. She hasn't seen the responsible side of Romeo because we probably either got Uber, because if I know if I'm in an Uber, I'm gonna go wild.
But technically, that is still being responsible. I was turned
into the Uber.
Huh?
Oh, the one day?
You know.
Well, to be fair, we did drink responsibly.
We did.
Because
we had a responsible person.
Yeah, you took care of us. So
that day was so funny.
The funny part is she did all that. She was trying to solidify her spot in my life. We weren't even together yet.
It's like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? Talking to Jacob's girlfriend at the time.
Bro, that's crazy.
All of that.
Because that's the first time we met.
We all met. We got
drunk as shit that night.
That shit was hilarious. And that's the first night you met my mom.
Mm-hmm. And she was, I love you. And I was like, okay.
We were drunk with my mother.
Straight in.
We went straight into the nitty gritty. Folks were ready to go. That was a good night. That was a hilarious night.
Hey, but not many people would do that.
Mm-hmm.
So
that is true. But it's just the stuff that's going on now. It's just like, golly, like, can we breathe just for a second? Like, can we? A lot of shit has been happening since really last year. Like, can we not just have a moment?
Yeah.
I don't think we ever gonna get a moment, honestly, because like
with this generation, no.
Oh no, I'm talking about in general.
Definitely
because even
with this generation,
we talk about it's so much going on. It was like you can't go outside no more because like situations have changed because there's a different enemy. At one point, it used to be the enemy was clear. The enemy was very clear. It was like, as a black person, I can't. It's only a select few of white people I might trust because. Majority of them during that time, you were just like, I don't know, you might be cool, but then your homie over here might try to turn you in for us just hanging out. Like, I can't even hang out with you because
like more diseases that they had to deal with.
Yeah, I was like, time. You didn't have the curious of certain things. You were dealing with like shit. Chickenpox was on the rise. Like it was just going through shit, and then on top of trying to dodge the police trying to shoot you for for your skin color out because that was outright doing it during that time, and then being hung because of just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Now it's less of being hung, but more being shot by somebody that looked just like you. You be like, God damn, like
I do not understand that. I do not, and I wish that somebody would explain to me with just our community in general. What the fuck is the purpose of going up to kill someone, rob them or whatever when your ass only has two fucking options? Your ass gonna be in the goddamn grave or you're going to be in a jail cell. Why with our community, just ours specifically, why is that a fame? Why do you think why is clout so much to you when them niggas don't fucking care about you? They don't. They're going to tell you all day long, yeah, I'll care about you. Yeah, you family. You're not fucking family. You're actually not. You are a part of a goddamn club.
That's because generation. That's the people whoever teaches you.
It's not even generation, really. It's really just like not enough fathers in homes.
You're really wanting something that you're not really going to get.
Yeah, I mean, you seek that, like, if you can't get a father figure, you seek brotherhood.
Yeah.
And that is a replacement for that. And that's where a lot of that
but
stuff
what's
comes
crazy
from.
Is that with brotherhood, though, or seeking that and getting that from the brothers that you so call, okay, you also have to think, though, if you don't have a father in life, when your father left, okay, he was there for a little minute, but he still left. With your brothers, they're there for a little minute, but as soon as your ass gets locked up or you get shot or something happens or some shit goes down, they're gone.
Yeah, but
they will leave as well. So isn't that the same thing, though?
It is. It is, and it isn't at the same time, because part of that is it's on you to understand that those people never actually cared about you. Mm-hmm. They cared about what you could give them, and they use you for that. Mm-hmm. But it's a completely different thing. Like you and me, right? Mm-hmm. Completely different thing. I know that you would never use me for whatever. If somebody gets into something, right? Mm-hmm. He has my back. If it's my fault, and he's just like, well, it's your fault. I understand that. Because we've already had that
Holding
discussion
each other
before.
accountable.
Right.
Yeah.
We've already had that conversation. Like, I would never be mad at him if I did something wrong. And he's just like, I can't stand by you for doing what you did.
I can't do nothing for him at that point.
Right.
Same
Because
thing,
it was
vice
my
versa.
decision to do so.
I just think for me, I
But-
just hate hearing why are we doing this to our community? Or why are we should be uplifting ourselves and this, that, and the third, but we're still damaging ourselves at the same time. Like, when is
a lot of
enough going to
envy.
be
It's
enough?
the switch. It's the switch. That's why people, it's knowing where you came from, but upgrading. And a lot of people stay where they were brought, and then keep that same mentality. Some people move out of their environment and then act like a whole nother person, which both sides completely dumb, because it's kind of like the people who act like they don't know where they came from don't know how to sit here and be like, they choose not to be the role models for the next generation, which they don't. It's not their choice. It's not their fault. But then they start acting oblivious. That's why you got the people who move. I was talking this with some. I don't know if it was with you or somebody else. I was talking about when you move on to corporate America. I was talking with my coworker. I said you move up to corporate America and you act like a whole nother person. You become an uppity nigga. Like all of a sudden it's like you never seen your cousins that were in the hood. You never had any friends out here. You never, all this stuff. It's like you just act like you're better, which is a problem. It's cool that you have a better environment, but you're not trying. But you're acting a certain way, which creates.
But also, some people like that are actually using it to their advantage.
That's what I say. That's why I'm about to get to the third side.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I was like, there's two sides. The people who are like the crabs in the barrel thing, where it's kind of like you can't, if you want to go do something with your life that's fucked up, or they got the mindset of, if you do something with your life and I want to do something in my life, you had better opportunities than me. You had a better environment than me, so you keep on going. You keep pushing. You keep making that bread, and I support you. But me, it's over for me. Nigga, you're in your 20s. What you mean it's over? It's just the fact that you made bad decisions and you just don't know how to get out of it. But we grew up in the same place, went to the same school, but you just got involved with the wrong things, but you're just trying to keep me out of it.
Because now they have the mentality of, like, I could compliment your damn shirt. You just fucking disrespect me. Bitch, I just complimented your damn shirt. Now you about to shoot me?
Why are you so aggressive?
Like, what happened?
That's why I say it goes into the third people. Like, people like, I consider like me and you in that category. Me, all three of us, honestly. Like, where we may have seen certain things or may not have been in it. Y'all we all have different experiences, but we don't forget where we came from. We don't forget to try to express that people have choices. We don't forget to be like, you can do the same exact thing. I can give you the same exact tools. I'm not gonna gatekeep any information that I learned from myself. I'm not gonna gatekeep it from you because I feel like you're gonna squander it. I'm gonna give it to you willingly and give you the choice to squander it. If you want to fuck up your own chances.
I respect their bond that they have with each other. I do respect that. But what I cannot respect is the bond, like what the bond stands for, what the foundation of that bond is. That's what I don't like. Like, you literally just signed up to put your life on the line for someone that literally could fuck you up right in front of your face and just take off like nothing fucking happened.
That's why these niggas that's walking around here with these shiesty masks on, that are in high school, nigga, you're 15.
Well, I mean, there's also like for me, when I look at a lot of it, because I've also dealt with a lot of people that are in stuff like that too. A lot of them are just dumbasses, honestly. And they're dumbasses, and because they're a dumbass, and they understand that the younger that you get people, the easier it is to mold them into the person that you want them to be.
To manipulate them, yeah.
And so you keep going with that process. Like, okay, well, you're young. I'm gonna get you now. So it's easier for you to not, for your mindset to be like, okay, I have to do all this. I have to not be a snitch. I have to help you.
Hell, at this point, trying to be a fucking assassin. At this point, use what you got for something that's great.
They're not smart enough
and
to
actually
do that,
get paid for the shit.
Not smart enough to
If
do
you're gonna be out here doing
I would be
that,
an assassin.
Yeah.
That actually was one of my career jobs that I wanted so bad.
You just digging yourself a deeper hole, aren't you? Just dangerous things. If y'all listen to the episode before this, well, just listen to the things that come out her mouth and just put in the comment section.
True, though.
Do I need to be with this woman?
Oh my gosh.
I'm not gonna lie. I've always wanted to be an assassin.
Shit's fucking amazing.
I see it. I
It's
feel
cool.
like both of y'all got it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something that you wanted to do in life.
Or be like a spy, espionage and whatnot. I think that'd be cool.
Be on your Secret Service stuff.
I just hate that what's going on in Memphis is like it's just a lot. Like
It's a lot
you
at one
can't even
time.
go out and jog by yourself, regardless. And I know she was white, but regardless of race at all, you can't do those things without constantly feeling like somebody is behind you. All these things, but at the same time, you can like what your aunt said. You cannot live in a bubble your entire life. Like you have to continue to live
We
your
literally
life.
just had this
But it's
conversation
like, goddamn.
with my auntie and uncle about it, and they were telling us like, cause we talking about the fair, and then we talking about like, you were like when you were like, yeah, you were like, oh, like I was talking about taking her to the fair. You were like, yeah, I wouldn't go, and you were like, not even from like a financial standpoint of like you just want to save money, but from the standpoint of safety.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Because you know, for me, right, I was like, y'all can go if you want, because I can tell you that I don't want you to go because I want y'all to be safe. But like if you go, like there's nothing to do about that. But definitely wouldn't recommend to go at a certain time of day either. Because like when we're gonna go, it's still gonna be mostly during the day. We're only going for a few minutes. We're getting or looking at whatever, and then we're leaving. I'm not going at night because it's unsafe. And that's not me being scared of anything. It's just unsafe to do so.
It's
and
the
I'm
reality.
not right. And
it's
I'm not
working
going to put.
It's working smarter.
And the other thing too is like people would look at that and be like, okay, well you're scared. No, like I'm not going to put people that I love or care about in danger because that's stupid. You know.
Yeah, it's a lot of shit going on, which is like, yeah, you can't have the mindset of you can be careful or you can be scary. Being scared is what we got put into remember when the dude had ran up during the Batman movie and shot everybody in the movie theater? That was during that time. I remember I being genuinely scared to go to the movie theater, but in reality, I was like, this shit could happen at any time. I was like,
I literally went to the movie.
Watch
theater
your surroundings.
After. But yeah, because I went to the movie theater like right after that. But even at a very young age, I'm very perceptive of everything that goes on around me, right? Because I don't trust people like that. I sit in places where I can, like, y'all see me when we go out to eat or something like that. Like, I sit in places where I can see the door.
Yeah.
Right?
Facts.
I got to see the door. I got to know who's coming in. And I look at everybody. I pay attention to everybody. That's been the type of person that I am.
That makes so much sense when you said what you about to say?
No, I was saying that's literally what I do.
Yeah, I was like, that makes so much sense when we're out like with the homies, is us just the guys out, and like you sit in certain nobody. I don't ever think, let me sit and like be close to the door so I can see these things or whatever, or I don't care too much about my surroundings. I'm just like whoever try to take us, we jumping niggas like right. That. Yeah. I'm like we not doing no done. We came out and have a good time. If somebody want to get rowdy, I got the homies with us.
I've noticed that about him because I do it myself. Like when me and him are out, I'll ask him, do you want to sit in this seat, just see the door or whatever? And he'll be like, oh, it doesn't matter to me. It's like, it's cool. Like, yeah. But for me, I'm like, well, okay, if he doesn't want to decide to do that, then I'll sit there because it just makes me feel comfortable. So I've noticed when he has done it every time we've went out.
It's a natural thing.
It's like me and him always sit diagonal. I don't like, obviously, like that. Y'all don't obviously pay attention to that much detail, but I do. Me and him always sit diagonal. All the time.
It was a natural instinct that kicked in on me when I'm dating a person. Because
what I've noticed about you when we get up and we're walking around, your head just starts turning. So
I don't know what she'd be like, what are you looking at?
Yeah, instantly. What the hell are you looking at?
Absolutely, just everything.
and then let it not be when like some girl with a fat ass walk past, and I'm just sitting, I'm just surveying just to make sure we good. And
you can't trust them either. She might pull out something.
On me, you can't trust them. That ass ain't that fat. She really got them. She
got a bazooka.
Storage in that bitch.
Storage in there. Especially these little white girls. You know that ain't no real. I'm just playing. It ain't real.
But no, yeah, I definitely got to pay attention to everything because that's just the type of person that I am.
Yeah, I think I think I guess us as dudes, we unintentionally notice when somebody is taking that role of being like the lookout. So we all shut off. We all shut off a little bit. So because we're like, oh, we're not in danger. Like,
yeah, because every time we go, I always sit in the same spot.
Yep, but then it's like, when you go out with your girl, I'm out with you, and it becomes a whole nother situation. Because like, yeah, I am on the opposite end. Like where I'm looking like you, like, why are you like? Do you want to sit over here? I never understood why you would ask me that question. Or like, why do you want to sit right there? And I was like, I already naturally do it. I already naturally was like, let me make sure. Like, just say somebody crazy comes in here, I know. Like,
because I mean, you know, every time we go out, you know, when I go out with Allie, she already knows like where to sit because I'm always looking in whatever direction I'm looking in.
that was the only thing that I know she picked up on with the sitting. I didn't realize I was doing that, but you picked up on that I was
noticed
doing.
that she does that too. That's why I never cared when we were all going out where I didn't care that much where I sat because I always saw that you pay attention to everything too.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, she does. I think what was something that I do that she wasn't used to was the standing on a sidewalk. Like we were walking on a sidewalk, and you're like that. Technically, from a gentleman's standpoint, you're supposed to be on the outside.
I've never done that.
Yeah, you're technically
Like-
because just in case somebody crazy comes or somebody just driving, obviously you're probably both gonna get hit if they driving crazy.
But your instant reaction is to turn your back.
Yes, turn your back, move her out the way.
Yeah, for some reason, my instant reaction is to throw her. So I don't know. Well, look, this because like we've had somebody that like almost came up on the curb, right? But my instant reaction is to throw her out of the way.
Yeah,
not to.
Which is still a
her.
very
it's
good
still you still got
Right.
you still got the instinct. It's just that's something that I picked up from my grandfather.
Yeah,
Which
sometimes I do
Yeah.
walk on the street side.
like
and
with
stuff
my
like that, too.
sisters, like when me and her, I didn't mean to say her name on the recording, but when we're walking, like just to like the student union, I will walk on the out. Even though I'm not a man, I will walk on the outside because I know that I am stronger than her, and I know that I want to protect her. So it did like with my mom, I will walk on the outside and let my mom walk on the inside. I don't know what it is. I will always do that because I know my mom, she is a very strong lady. Let's just put that out there. She works fucking security for niggas that are bigger than her. Don't understand how she does it, but she does it. Shout out to my mom. You're fucking kick ass.
OG, triple OG.
Miss Storm is her nickname. But she with her,
She's a tall
it's
lady.
like when she's with us, she obviously, watches her surroundings, stuff like that. But she's instilled in me, so like basically training in me that she doesn't have to worry. Because she knows I'm gonna go fucking ape shit. Regardless if I do get hit or injured or whatever, I'm still trying to protect at the end of the day. So when it came to all of us going out and how I noticed, I was like, okay, so either way. Not saying that, Allie and you cannot no.
Yeah.
But when you've really seen some shit, I don't care who I am with. You could be a fucking linebacker and I'm with you. I don't give a damn.
Still gonna be on the watch.
I'm still gonna be on the watch.
Yeah. I think that it just comes into play with, like you said, the environment. I'm pretty sure your girl's in the same situation from her experiences. It's kind of like she know that you got it, but she already got the
sometimes
she got the tool in the corner just ready, just waiting.
Yeah, because for her, right, she pays attention to. I pay attention to how people are and like what they're doing and stuff like that, and she does that too. But she more so analyzes them psychologically to see if they're a crazy person or not. So, I mean, and that helps too, because it's just like, if you're dealing with a crazy person, obviously, you're just like, well,
you don't know if they're going to jump or not. She's like sitting there just like, he going to jump.
Yeah.
Yeah, he a little too quiet.
Like, she'll count down in 5, 4, 3. I told that nigga he was going to jump.
I knew it.
Yeah. So it's always been one of those things. And when I'm out with y'all, it's, but I think it's also because, like, though I am, like, we all get hype and stuff like that, but, like, I'm the calmest because I deal with situations very well. And so I'm always the one that's like, okay, well, if something goes down, like, obviously I know how to deal with it first. And then I feel like after me, it'd probably be you, and then maybe Hunter, and then maybe Jacob.
I do see it as you, Romel, Hunter, then Jacob. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
Because even though Hunter is Hunter, I do feel like with those things, like when we went to the mall, even though Hunter was like talking a lot, that man was still like,
because and
he was just like this the whole time.
It's really off the strength of being in this city, and like being in this city, it don't matter what side you're on. Because Hunter is like in the night. Anytime I go over his house, I'm like, oh, it's a nice area over here. We talked about driving over there, and
Bro, he leaves his door unlocked.
yeah, like it's literally a whole. It's this one house that has a giant ass window.
That you can see like directly
No
into
lie.
our
He's from.
house.
Is he from here or is he from Nashville?
He's from here.
Yeah.
He's from here.
Well,
Okay.
not necessarily, but
Well,
yes.
no. Remember, if you in the last episode, he explained. Was it the last one or the one we're about to drop?
I think it's the one we're about to
It's
try.
it's when you're about to drop. I think.
Okay, yeah, because he explained that he said he came from Virginia. Yeah, he moved out. He came down here in middle school, so he grew up in Virginia first, pretty much predominantly white area, and then came down to Memphis.
But I'm not gonna lie, even in predominantly white areas, they see some shit too from their own community as well.
Because they got some crazies.
But it's like I invited you into my home type shit, and then that's when some shit gets. We have motherfuckers outside. That's just like, all right, you know what I'm saying? So I see it in all of us. Literally.
I perfected the walking through and being unfazed, but obviously having that gauge, you get it as years go of learning how to keep.
Nigga, did you just try to do a spit of remix going on?
Huh?
Was that a remix happening?
You
All right.
I wasn't gonna call him out on his stutter.
DJ Brown.
DJ 2.0.
I'm sorry, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
But nah, I feel like you gauge it as time goes. Like your experience, like basically your skill level. Your skill level increases on how you. Because at one point, when you're younger, you're always looking around. They're like, stop looking at people. Stop looking at people.
I never did.
Yeah.
I always still looked at people. I did that even when we were in school.
I realized, because I know people, especially people in Memphis, they don't like, you can't look at niggas for like 2 seconds. You can't look at for somebody for like 3 seconds for them making a face like what you looking at?
And then I look at people.
Oh, you got a problem. And I was like, oh, so that's a problem. I can't stare at people too long. So I was like, I'll just circle around and make eye contact every now and then. And then I perfected the head nod of like, what's up? Like, I'm showing you that I mean no harm. Because I already perfected it.
Nah, nigga, I'm showing you that I see you, see me, see you. So
Yeah, because even if I don't, like, my thing is too, I've perfected, I guess, like, even if I don't look at you, I still know where you are. And I still pretty much know where you're doing. I've always told you, like, I have that weird, like, thing that happens where, like, I notice when people are behind me. Because, like, all the hair, like, on my neck, like, stands up when people are behind me. That's why I don't get caught off guard that much.
That's like when we're out in public and then you tell me like somebody's looking weird or somebody's acting weird, I've already seen them. I just don't say nothing.
Yeah, like, I gauge people, like,
Yeah,
real fast.
And, and it's funny because I always be like, what person? I know exactly who you're talking about. I'm just trying to make sure we're on the same person. It's just, I'm just like, all right.
and we're always on the same thing. Same thing.
It's like you just gotta have that once that instinct kicks in, you just know that something's not right.
Yeah, I think it also like for me too. It's more so for me because I was with like a whole bunch of crazy people. Like and at any moment they can just jump on you and try to like kill you and stuff. Because some of them are murderers and things like that. So it was just like, yeah, at any point, because like there'd be a lot of times where like I would be walking with certain people, right? And one of my coworkers would pull me over, like, do you let him walk behind you? I'm like, yeah, I don't care. He's like, are you sure? Like, that's not safe. It's like, no, it's fine. They know better.
They know better. They know who I am.
Yeah, like it was never like a problem. It was like, yeah, they're fine to be behind me. They know, and it's not like it's an issue.
But it just sucks that, I mean, even back then, like, it was like that too. Like, people were like that too. But it's just like we were like on guard.
That's because more people are sensitive now, and they don't know how to deal with like a lot of things in the proper way. And
That is true. That's very, very true.
yeah, and because they don't know how to deal with things, people also don't know how to deal with anger and things like that. So because there's like a whole study that shows like between men and women, we both have relatively close to the same degree of like not being able to deal with certain emotions. Men, however, deal with that through physical stuff. So they'll fight more, or it will be a whole thing with that. Women, however, they deal with it in a different way, and it's more like a psychological way. Like they'll try to like mess you up like verbally or things like that. But dudes, that's why we fight so much, is because some people don't know how to deal with like their emotions in that way. So they're automatic, like, I don't know how to deal with this. I'm gonna just punch you.
So that's what. So basically, if you take that back into olden days, this is why niggas are so aggressive, and like we like a lot of times whenever you had a problem with somebody, instead of talking it out, take it outside. Like
Yeah,
take
pretty
like
much.
instead of actually trying to deal with the emotions.
Yeah, pretty much.
And this actually ties into your conversation that me and him had about, do men have it harder than women? And just the way that, because at first I was like, no, but the way that you described that, like that, yeah, it makes sense. Because like I was understanding what he was saying, but at the same time I was kind of like, okay, well, I was like rebuttaling like every single thing he was saying, but from hearing just from that as well, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, because they don't really have an outlet but physical. As women, for us, we have physical,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
have
so-
that, but we are an emotional beings, and it's how we actually take everything and go from it, because we will say some shit that will for real deal hurt you, will hurt your ego, will hurt everything about you, and not give a fuck, but not actually thinking about your feelings.
Yeah, and then y'all have more access to have people to
Care.
coddle.
Yeah, and
So,
the other
like-
thing too, like with that, right?
Yeah.
The difference where you don't see a lot of that stuff too is like a guy well, a woman can talk to a guy any kind of way. There's nothing you can do about it except for take it, right? Because we promote don't hit women. But a guy talking the same way to another guy, they're gonna get into a fight.
True.
And so that's why it's a lot harder for certain dudes to handle when women talk to them in a specific way, because it's not like there's nothing I can do about this.
You haven't been taught properly how to use your words.
Yeah, I mean, it
is.
is some of that too. Like you don't know how to use your words, and like you're just. But sometimes
And they have more
it's a-
experience. They have a longer line of experience than you do. With
I wouldn't say just words though. It's actually just the emotion. You don't know how to deal with the emotion because you have not been taught how to deal with that emotion. So
Yeah,
it wouldn't
yeah.
be how you talk to me. It's literally your emotion. Like you could be angry as fuck about everything that I just said to you, but instead of you taking a moment and processing or what are these things, you want to hit me.
Yeah, you go hit a wall or something like that, right? And then like you're just like, well, what's wrong with you? Like, why would you go hit? Because I don't know what else to do. Like I got so mad.
I just get mad, and we all had those moments where we just like, fuck, I don't know what to do right now.
And I
then
think that needs to be capitalized on more is instead of instead of saying that men are weak or men are this or men are that, from a woman's perspective, and saying, oh, well, they should be able to talk to well, why don't we sit here and actually take the time out and teach a man, since we are basically experts in our emotions, why don't we sit down and try to teach a man or the man that we are with on how to deal with their emotions instead of them feeling like they have to hit something or they have to. I mean, now I'm not saying take that outlet away. No, do that, because sometimes us working with our emotions is great, but at the same time, we still need another release form.
Because sometimes, like, and this is in a general sense, like, a lot of women are hypocrites. Like,
Yeah.
it's one of those things where, like, many, like, even when you go on, like TikTok and stuff like that, even with the therapist, right?
Yeah, therapy girl.
You have all of these things are like, hey, men need to do this, men need to do that in order to process your emotions properly. There needs to be outlets for you to understand the way that you feel and things like that. And then when a guy does do that,
It's
you're
like, what the fuck?
You're like, you're being a bitch. Like, be a man, right? And that's why I think women promote more toxic masculinity than dudes do. Because
I will agree.
because like you say that you want a guy to be a certain way, like be sensitive,
More sensitive and
things like
empathetic,
that.
stuff
And then
like that.
when he does do that, then you shit on him, and then he stops doing it, and then you're just like, why did you do
shit on
this?
him again.
And it's so confusing for dudes, especially young men growing up, to not be like, well, I don't know what I can and can't do.
Then you also dealing with a person who is also young, or maybe like if you're dating, like, because genuinely, like a lot of people who dealing with this right now are like their 20s.
Well, but a lot of that stuff too. It's not even just with, like, for women. It's like from probably like maybe 15 to like 30 something. with them talking like the way that they are about dudes. For dudes, they're just trying to like figure out what they need to do.
They just came in the game. It's already been instilled, which is something I think I talked to you about. I was like, men get pretty much taught all their lives how to treat a woman, but women don't get taught how to treat a man, and it doesn't help.
How to actively treat a man. We get taught
how to please a man,
how to please a man, and all these
also
things.
like how a man should treat you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And dudes don't ever get taught how women should treat them either.
Yeah, it's kind of like, all right, cool. We get taught that, I guess, basically marriage is settling in a bad way. We get taught that like you lose everything. They don't talk about the beauty of it. They make it seem like it's much more advantageous on a woman's side. Like oh, okay, cool. She gets the ring.
It's a bunch of actions.
Yes, it's a bunch. Like she gets
and shiny things.
Yeah, shiny things. That's all this chalked up to be for us. Is you're losing half your money. You're not gonna be happy no more. She's gonna use sex as a weapon. You're not gonna get it as often because that's the only reason you got her. Like she got the ring in the first place because she was doing a lot of things ahead of time to make you feel good and that you were the man just to get this one thing and then be like, all right, I got it now. Like
that was the issue that me and him had, was that I am an emotional being. Like I'm a crybaby. I will admit I am a crybaby.
We have it here, guys.
Don't have any ounce of regret or sadness or whatever type of emotion against it, because I will say it again. I am. I know that I am. But I am also, as my mom and just people around me have told me, that I can be a nonchalant fucking asshole and not give a damn. So my issue that I had or have in our relationship is that for me, it's talking about how we want men to be this and that, but we also want them to be sensitive and all these different things. When in reality, I was giving him that outlet, but I wasn't at the same time, just because of what I was taught, just because of what I was told and how a man should look, talk, and all these things. So for me, I'm fighting a whole battle of, okay, well, I do want him to be this. I do want him to express himself. You know, he's in therapy. We do all of these things. Like, I want this out of him. But on the other side that you've been taught for so long,
soft ass shit.
Like, right. Like, okay, I can
shit.
cry a little bit and get over it. Why the fuck can he not cry and get over it? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So obviously that's something that has gotten a lot better. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. It has gotten a lot better, but
no,
but it's a process on both ends.
She calls me a bitch for being emotional.
It's a process on both ends, and I think with this generation that includes all generations, or this era that includes everyone, is that we need to look together instead of separate on how we can teach each other and actually actively be about what we're saying.
Yeah. I'm like, for me, right? Like I'm a huge supporter of like men's mental health and stuff like that, because I think it's extremely important, because there are no avenues really for guys. That's why they kind of go towards like the red pill side of things, because that's the only thing that they do have. Like me, I don't care. Like I'm able to share how I feel with you, but other than that, like there is really nothing past that. Like I'm able to communicate, and I've learned through time how to communicate with you and like things like that, but I'm never gonna get anything past that. Things that you say don't really bother me. Anything that anybody says doesn't bother me, because it's just
shoulder
words.
just snapped when I did this.
Is that what I heard?
Yes. Jesus. But yeah, continue.
Yeah, the things that people say, like that never bothers me. No matter who you are, you can be a female. You can say all of these terrible things to me. It's not going to get me out of character or anything like that, because I don't care. It's just words. As long as you don't touch me, I'm fine. But you also have to understand who you can and can't share the way that you feel with.
Say for the people in the back.
Because like, you know, I've had times where like, you know, you share too much with somebody.
Yeah.
And they try to use that against you. And that happens a lot to dudes, right? And that's why you have this whole group of women that are like, well, why don't dudes share how they feel? Because you use it against us.
Shit's scary.
And we have influencers that sit here and say that shit's okay.
Yeah, and the
without
thing
even
is,
realizing it.
And the thing is, like, a woman will continue to do that. She'll continue to share how she feels with you because most of the time dudes don't ever use it against them, but they'll continue to do that. Dudes, it only needs to be one time because we know how that feels, and we're like, we're not going to go through that again. So we're, for a very long time, I'm just like, I'm not going to share how I feel with you. I'm just going to, unless it's like, bare minimum feeling, but I'm not going to go deep into how I feel about things and all this other stuff, because you're never going to use that against me again, because I don't like the way that feels. And like a lot of dudes obviously need to have a certain type of balance with that. You have to vet the people that you do that stuff with and understand, like, okay, if I do this, she seems like, because like you can know real early the type of person that you're messing with if you actually pay attention to that sort of thing. If I know I'm not going to try to be in like a long wrestling relationship with you, I'm not going to share this whole bunch of stuff with you. If our relationship already starts out toxic, I'm not going to do that with you. But if you have a stable relationship with somebody, then there's no problem with doing that.
Yeah, like if shit hits the fan, which I can say, like for us, like our first year, we went through hella shit.
Hella shit, man.
People passing away left and right. We sitting there going through job shit, like trying to make sure that like, oh, you got something situated, all this stuff. And then during those moments, if we didn't realize who we were dealing with, I could have been dealing with a crazy. And she could have been dealing with a crazy. She could have been, I could have been sitting here getting aggressive every moment that I had an irritation. And then the moments I did get aggressive, she could have addressed it a whole nother way.
I never left them.
She never left. Like, and in times where I was like, when my emotions got the best of me, this is why it's so important to have a person in your life that can
I hugged this man.
That can sit. She hugged me like I was the fucking Hulk, and she was like, Scarlett Johansson playing Black Widow.
She was like,
basically, that's how I was. I was like, get away.
Yeah.
She was also stuff like that, and then moments of her when she had her moments, I was sitting here like I have to sit here and be like, look. Emotions might get the best of you, but I'm still here because it takes certain things. Like for men, I feel like a lot of times we want to have the woman console us in this way that we have put in our head that we don't get often. We don't get the person that sits there and tells us it's gonna be okay, stuff like that. So when we do get it, it's a breath of fresh air versus the hard
definitely
ass.
like for dudes, right? It's always one of those things because like I don't cry, right? You've only ever seen me cry probably one time. For a lot of women, like they might say that like they care about you and things like that. When they see a dude cry, sometimes it's one of those like turning factors. Sometimes they're like,
it's a reset.
I can't handle this. Why are you crying? You're being a bitch. Or it's the rare people that are like, you're crying. Like, let me make sure that you're okay.
I've had somebody tell me that. I've had a significant other tell me that like that if you cry. I'm not used to seeing like men cry.
Yeah.
And so I don't know how I would look at you at that point. That's not something you tell a person. That's not something
versus other people, and not even just for myself or putting clout for myself. When I first seen him cry, it because for one, it was like a loss in the family. So, but for me, it was like, oh shit. Okay. I'm in my mind, because we had a friend that was like sitting next to us when he came home and it happened. She instantly was like, oh, da, da, da. Okay, I did kind of feel some type of way. But it was kind of, with her, it was like, it was an instant, okay, let me, oh, da, da, da.
Right.
To me, it felt fake. Honestly, to me, it felt fake. But that was just how she handled it. For me, I was more talking to him because I didn't know. I've never had to deal with another man's emotions. Like I've dealt with like so much like anger and all that stuff, but as far as crying wise, I've never had to deal with that. So seeing someone that I truly love cry, coming from somebody that is a crybaby but is a nonchalant person at the same time, I didn't know how to process it. I didn't know what to do. So after that moment when I saw him angry and because we, had got into a little argument or whatever. But when I saw all of his emotions go crazy, I was like, I'm finna do what I do to myself and what I do to my family. I'm finna hug this man. Because you could talk to me all day long, like, it's okay, you don't have to cry, wipe my tears away. But they might actually want physical touch. And that's exactly what I did to him. I ran up and I hugged this man. I don't care if he's mad at me, mad at the world. I don't care. Because we also don't hug y'all.
Yeah.
when you were feeling this way. Even if you don't, he didn't want physical touch. He didn't want anything. But something told me, okay, well, you couldn't do this. Try this and see what happens.
Because it's one of those things too, where it's like, you know, when
It helped, by the way.
yeah, well, you know, well, I'm about to get to that, right? When women cry, obviously we hug them.
Yeah.
When dudes cry, we don't get any of that stuff. But like when BJ passed, right?
Yeah.
You know, Allie was there for me, and I was trying to hold it together and everything. I was straight, right? She hugged me, and I just let loose.
No,
Like I was just crying. Like
over.
it's one of those things where like we hold all of it in internally, and then like we get that comfort, and then all of the flood of emotions just like come out.
Because we're now supporting you.
Right,
Like my
and-
hug was supporting you to let everything just go.
Yeah, it's one of those like you know, one, it's comfort, and I know that I can like let loose and not actually hold everything in.
Yeah, the moment that somebody can show you that, because it's been moments like that with me and you. Like me and you, like we're doing something, whatever, when some shit gets serious, and you gotta let your. That's something that I feel like in our community as men, especially as black men, that's something that we don't do enough, is allow somebody to be vulnerable. Allow a lot of people, and that's something I'm seeing a big dynamic change in the amount of vulnerability, but it's also fighting with the toxic masculinity. It's fighting with, because it's two sides on that's being influenced, that are being pushed, two narratives. Like we said, we only have red pill people that really like we can look up to, and like men role models.
Yeah.
And the people who push the toxic masculinity more have been females.
Yeah.
Have been women. They've been pushing it a little bit more. So with that being said, if you have one side that's pushing this, us as straight men, we want women, right?
Right.
So when we see these women that are saying that we don't want this, but you also see the same other women saying that we do want this.
Yeah. It's also my bad, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you good.
It's one of those things too where it's like men now are becoming more comfortable comforting other men and making sure that your friends and everything are okay. You have a whole bunch of women that see that and then label them gay. And
Which, to be honest, you guys, and I'm saying it, are fucking bitches. Literal bitches.
yeah,
For
and,
that.
And like, just because I'm trying to make sure that my best friend is okay, and I'm like, okay, you can cry or whatever, and I'm like, I'm gonna make sure you're straight. For some reason, that display of affection or care for your friend, they say that it's gay just because I won't show that same for you because you're a bitch. I don't like you, right? I'm obviously going to care more about the people that I care about more than a person that I barely know or I don't care about. And so that's where a lot of that stuff comes in too, where like dudes try to do that, and it's confusing because you have women that are like, well, you're being gay if you comfort other dudes or you hang out with your friends a lot or all these weird things. They try to make dudes having friends a problem.
Yeah, it's weirdo energy. It's weirdo energy.
It's those people that we've talked about that are bitter and like weird.
It's because you're fighting back what the generation before you has taught you on how men are, because generation before us, they're used to the hardworking 9-to-5 dude that sits here. He doesn't get tired. He provides for the family. He goddamn pays for everything. He pays for the kids to go to school. He pays for the wife to stay at home. He pays for he's a blue collar dude who got it out the mud. That's type of men that people look like every dude is supposed to be. Every dude is supposed to be this guy. In reality, we don't look at every woman to be like this woman. We don't. Every woman isn't the Instagram model. Every woman isn't the hardworking woman who's gonna stay at home and do everything and then make sure you're good. So on and so on. So she might want to have her own career as well as build with you.
Yeah.
So, but it's like, but they like they say, everybody wants a traditional man, but doesn't want to be traditional themselves.
Yeah.
Everybody.
They want their cake and they want to eat it too.
Cake and eat it too. And then same thing on the men's side, just to preface it, just like we not sitting here bashing women the entire time. Derek, not bashing women the entire time, But men get it too, because then you do have the dudes that want the cake and eat it too. You're not willing to work for what you want. You're not willing. You're not willing to. You want this type of woman, but you're not willing to put in the effort for yourself.
Yeah.
You're not willing to develop a personality.
Yeah.
You're not willing.
And it's also one of those things too, where it's like, I've for some reason started seeing like on my feed of people talking about like how people can spend so much time with like, dudes can spend so much time with other dudes. Like you can be on the game with somebody like all day almost and not care about like these women that want to, pretty much like use you or things like that. And like that's gay or whatever. Or like, why would you do this instead of being or hanging out with a woman? It's because you're fucking boring.
That is true.
And most of these women that say this are the type of people that I know that I would not have a peace of mind with. I need to have peace. And if I have peace hanging out with my friends, I'd much rather do that than have to deal with you.
I can't kick it with you for an extended amount of time, and we have nothing in common.
Yeah, I mean, like the thing, like when which this conversation is always a little weird when they talk about like what do you bring to the table and stuff like that, because most of the time it's always just sex, right? I can't build with somebody that I'm just having sex with. At that point, there's no reason for us to be in a relationship if we're only gonna have sex with each other.
I have a love-hate relationship with that question, because like I hate it when people ask it, but I also understand it.
Yeah,
because it's one of those like it's an important question to ask in a relationship, but it's also like it's an important question to just know when you're in, because if you're gonna ask that question, you need to know that you already got it yourself. Yeah. You need to know. Like, if you a dude that's asking a woman, like, what are you going to bring to the table? And, nigga, you not doing shit. You don't have, first of all, you might not have a job. you still bumming off of other people. And you talking about something, what you going to bring to the table? Nigga, you not bringing shit to the table yourself. So, what do you, like stuff like that. But then when I do hear the people asking, which is, like, that's why I have a love-hate relationship with social media, too. Because I'm like, they'll promote the women. The only women that they see are the women that are like, well, I don't want to not, like, I was like, what I bring to the table? I am the table. That's not an answer.
It's not.
It's not. It's really, really not. Because I've seen stuff on, social media as well as with those females. I've seen all turns of females. And the ones that are, I am the table, I'm this, da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, that's cool, sis. Hey, be about it. I'm there for you, period. I get the energy, okay. But at the same time, okay, what's on that table?
What's on the table?
What's on it?
I can cook and I can clean. What if he can do that himself?
Okay, if he can do that himself, okay, cool. What else do you have?
See, but this is the thing, right? This is the thing, too, that I thought about, which I might have heard it from somebody else, but whatever, I don't care. When they talk about, like, well, I want you to cook and clean and do all of these things, and then those women always have the argument of, you want a mom, right? Well, they want a dad.
Yeah, that's basically
they basically just want a dad to take care of them, pay for all this stuff, treat them nice, make sure they feel like a princess. That's pretty much what you want. You want a dad, and that's not what this is.
That's why I was always confused on the whole men are providers thing. I was like, what do you actually provide? Because anytime we talk about providing, we only talk about finances. We don't talk about providing emotional peace. We don't talk about providing emotional stability or spiritual stability or physical stability. We not talking about those things. That we only talk about what a man can bring to the table, as in pockets, which does create the stigma that men are only loved conditionally. The minute you can't do those things are the minute you're not needed in society.
Yeah, but that's how dudes are really treated right now, and it's just what a lot of dudes need to understand is the art of not giving a fuck. Because you have to, like, there are many times where, like, different women try to come up to me and things like that. If I don't care, it's really weird. Women are kind of weird with this, where, like, if you're not receptive of the way that they're trying to give you, you know, then that makes them want you more. And it's not like that, necessarily, anyways. I'm just like, I don't care about you, so I'm not going to put forth so much time into this. And that's because they're not used to rejection and things like that either. But people have to be okay with rejecting women. There's a chick that I heard about yesterday when I was coming home from work. She was talking about her friend sometimes like when they would go out for like their girls' night, they would come home, they would chill, and then she would get a whole bunch of dick pics from dudes, right? What she would do, which is weird, this is a part of her kink for some reason. She would message all these guys on like Snapchat and ask them randomly, right? Some people she wouldn't know. Ask them for a dick pic, and they'd be like, "Why?" And if they didn't send it immediately, she would be like, "You're boring," and all this other stuff, and like degrade them a little bit. And then that would make them want to do it because dudes are stupid and easy when stuff like that. Mm-hmm. If you're the type of person where you're just like, "Oh, well, no, I'm good. I don't even know you," right? That would make her want to pursue you more. She would keep trying to get the pictures from you versus the other dudes where she's like, you're boring. You probably have a little dick or all this other stuff. These people would be like, well, no. And then she would do it and then she wouldn't respond to them at all. Sometimes she would block them, whatever. But it's just one of those things where like dudes need to be understanding that you can just say no. But it also comes in where like, you know, women are the ones that initiate sex and relationships and stuff. Yep. They dictate that sort of thing. And dudes are like, well, I'm going to get it where I can. And women are like, I can get it whenever I want. But dudes need to understand, like, we can also do that same thing. We can get it whenever we want to. You just have to not be weird about it.
We've been brainwashed for as men in society. We've been brainwashed so long that it's hard to come by. It's hard to come by if you have no game at all. Mm-hmm. But if you do, then you don't have to worry about that sort of thing. You can just be like, I can get it whenever I want. All I have to do is either put forth the effort or whatever. Yeah, and I think that's the thing that sucks that they're pushing out, because you know, specific people know that they can do whatever. Like I said, like Chris Brown walks out, points out somebody in the crowd, he's picking them out. Like then her and probably like 10 other people in the same night. No issues.
Yeah, it was like the Usher situation.
Yeah, it's like the Usher situation. But it's like
where he took that girl's we took the girl from her dude. Yeah.
That shit's funny. But no, I think what they don't realize is that y'all as women have so much power that even the ugliest woman can take a dude out that night, can text somebody in her phone and be like, I want some. And then they'll be like, shit is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because like, dudes are desperate.
Like, and it'll be like, it is what it is. I'll knock it down. Or whatever. I had a conversation with Derek the other day. I was like, the funniest thing is, a lot of times for women, not all women, but a lot of women have to be physically attracted at some point to a person
to do it,
to do things with them.
Mm. Unless they're getting paid.
Yeah, unless you're getting paid. Yeah. Niggas, we don't give a damn sometimes. It don't matter. It could be the most butt ugly person.
You can have a trash bag on your head.
And if you horny enough and you ain't had nothing, you ain't got no standards.
Yeah, women can't do that. I don't care who you are. You stop lying.
That's why they be like, when dudes cheat, they be like, yeah, she's not even pretty. It wasn't about her being pretty.
Yeah, but it's the thinking with the wrong head, right? Yeah, and then you have like, because I'll admit it, I've been with less than a 5, but afterwards, I'm never gonna fucking talk to you again. This was a mistake. Like that 5 looked like a 9, and afterwards, I'm like, the fuck? What
the hell was I thinking?
Like, change.
Oh, all
right.
Oh, stressed.
All right.
Like, oh.
You know, it's
you didn't
one
look
of
like
those,
that at first.
Yeah, it's like, you lied to me. Who are you?
Who are you? I feel like it happens like that for women when it comes to just getting a dude that might been hyping himself up, and then finally you get there, and then the shit was just not it.
Yeah, well, yeah, but also you have to. Some dudes just don't care. Nah. Either. Like, you can't.
I found that shit out too, which is hilarious. Niggas be 2-second pumpers on purpose.
Some people do. Like, it's just one of those things. Like, I didn't come here for you. I came here for me.
You're a 2-second pumper?
Of course.
All right.
Mm-hmm. That's why we still together.
All right.
3 centimeter defeater.
3 centimeter defeater.
Well, yeah, dudes are like, hey, like, you better get yours before I get mine. I'm about to get mine.
Hell, that's another thing right there. It's so much damn pressure when it comes to sexual relations. Yeah. Because you sit there, even when you get comfortable with a person, at some point you have to switch up. You have to switch up what you do in order to make sure that that person is like satisfied or anything like that. You can't be a one trick pony.
Yeah, you gotta spice things up.
You gotta spice things up,
especially if you're in a really long relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then
role play, bring out the dice, bring out cards, see some new tricks, try some new things.
Bring in new people. I'm just playing. I'm lying.
Testing it.
I love you. But now, I say that even brings in like going back to that whole the conversation of like who gets it harder. I feel like that's another thing that makes it harder on us as dudes is that sometimes it becomes a performance thing every single time. It becomes like every time you about to do something, you're like, fuck, I gotta last like this. I gotta do this, right? Yeah. I gotta make sure so and so. And it's really because you get in your head.
Yeah, sometimes. Also, like the problem too is like pretty much all guys are relatively the same. Every woman is different. Mm-hmm. And like you might be able to do something with one chick. She might have had the best time of her life. This other chick, you might do the exact same thing you did with her because like, okay, well, obviously I put it down right. This person, you go over, you're like, this was terrible.
This is why people get married because they find the one to be like, wow, you're the best I've ever had, and you're just like, really?
Yeah,
because the last person said I was trash.
Right, and it's like it's one of those things. Like dudes, like women are so complicated when it comes. Like y'all are boppets essentially. Mm-hmm. And
I will agree with that. I will agree.
What you like last night is not what you like tonight.
Right.
Nope.
And it's you have to learn so many different things, but it also comes in where women need to understand that and be more vocal about what you like and what you don't like. Because if a dude doesn't know, then he's just going to do whatever he thinks. But if you're vocal with him, or if you have the patience to actually tell him what you like, then he can make it more pleasurable for you and not just for him. But a lot of women think that you should automatically put it down right. Right.
Yeah.
Automatically do that. And then just for you to be a pillow princess. I hate you. Just for you to want to be on your goddamn back the entire time.
Yeah,
like just because it feels good.
We've said like, you know, and you may or may not agree, but dudes put in more work when it comes to sex than
all
women
the time.
Do. And y'all have to do the bare minimum, and we're good.
All we gotta do is make sure that y'all are wet, and then if you're not wet, just get lube. And if you don't have lube, use spit. It's literally like, all right, cool. The hardest part is getting them there, and that's still on us to make sure that y'all are.
We are literally like
there.
Game systems. Like you have to go through every single level. So no, I don't disagree. Yeah. I do agree. It is up to the man to make me feel how I want. Because if you ain't gonna make me feel how I want to feel, either I'm gonna do it or I'm gonna get another damn female that matches the same energy.
She didn't say man. She said woman.
Point blank period. Because we know.
She said, nah, you niggas are trash. I instantly gonna go to a woman and figure it out.
Because we know. We definitely know. But for guys, y'all do have to work a lot. Like, okay, if you flick my nipple one night, okay, that might have worked one night, but okay.
It's not the right nipple tonight. It's the left.
You didn't do it in the correct angle.
You're supposed to push down.
One side of my neck is so why are you over there? Like, I don't want you over there. Like, come on. It's all about communication.
And a lot of people don't like communicating. A lot of people just don't want to speak and say stuff. Because I know we're not used to communicating unless, like, you're getting head wrong. That's the only time you might say something. It could be the sex could be dry as hell, and you'll still not say shit. That's
because we have the quote "I still hit." So I mean, like, no matter if it's good or bad, right? Dudes will just be like, "Well, I still hit at the end of the day," and it doesn't really matter.
Still got the nut off.
Yeah, because I mean, I've definitely been with chicks that are fucking
and
terrible.
we got niggas, guys as a whole. We have to stop putting out there like the whole like, oh, I still hit. Yeah, you still hit, but what was the quality of that? Like, what was there? Was it? Do you count? Because women, they'll sit here and not count you if the shit was bad. They'll literally,
facts.
If the shit was bad, they'll mess around and be like, we'll be like, oh shit, I just hit her for like maybe a minute.
I just hit Ashley and it was fucking amazing. Ashley, how did it feel? Who? What the fuck is that? I didn't do shit with that person. What you talking about?
Yeah, you be like,
it was like with what's her face? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Not good at all.
Nah.
It was like whatever.
Yep.
She can be completely crazy.
Same situation on
just opposite
on my end.
Yeah.
Remember that one?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the thing was crazy. I was just like, well, I
What
really.
fuck are you talking about?
We'll tell you later.
All right.
But I'm not trying to use nobody's names, you know.
You know who I'm talking about.
I know.
But yeah, you know, I was like, well, I really didn't do that much, like, to me. And she was like, oh my God, it was like, whatever. And then she became a completely crazy person, right?
I had to teach myself that because I beat up myself a lot if it was like when you go in and don't, and like you like if you go into a girl and the shit just don't last long, you instantly think she must have had some good stuff.
No, not
It's
necessarily.
not the case. I learned that on personal. I was at first I was just like, damn, she was right. I was like, damn, she was right. I didn't last long. And then if I lasted too long with somebody, or like at some point, I'm like, damn, is it bad or something's wrong with me? Like, I was like, what the hell's going on with me? Now I realize that bodies just act different sometimes.
Yeah, bodies act different. Sometimes, like, if stress and things like that play a factor, and excitement also. Like, a lot of the times, like, dudes that bust quick, right? A girl might, you know, she might hype herself up and be like, yeah, my stuff was, like, good. He was probably just overexcited, and then just that's what happens.
Get overexcited, and then shit, or you just trying to get it over with, or he's like, you just know that the connection is not there.
Yeah, well, I've definitely faked it.
Yeah.
I've had some times where I have definitely faked it.
Yeah.
Not with you, but like from past, I have definitely.
I prefaced it too. I was like, I said, like, just let me know. just let me know if that's ever the case.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like sometimes you just like, this ain't it, you know. Nice meeting you.
Right. Like it was all right.
It's cool. It's cool.
Afterwards, it's just like, so what are you doing after this? Oh, you know, I got to go work.
It'd be the funniest thing if somebody was like, I love it when niggas get to the point where they just don't really care. And then it's just like, yeah, I came in there just to get off.
I've definitely been.
You're like, and then the girl was like, it was awful. And he's like,
I don't care.
It wasn't for you.
Yeah, right. It's one of those things like, look, regardless of good or bad you say I was, it don't really matter. I didn't come here for you. I came here for me, and I did what I needed to do.
That's why it's a slippery slope. If you get with a person who had a past of having multiple bodies, and then you get with them thinking that this dude, like this woman or this man, might be like, oh shit, they got some experience.
Yeah,
I was like,
it because you know, like they talk about like dudes not wanting chicks that have like a whole bunch of bodies and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you niggas out here be like, yeah, I smashed her, and her. Motherfucker, didn't you just... All right, well, that's fine.
We talked about that too over the phone. We were like, when it came to, because I was always like, why don't they just put the same levels for both people? Like, kind of saying like, if you
never gonna happen.
I was like,
yeah, because you know the way I explained it to you made more sense because you never really heard it that way before. But it's like, because personally for me, like I don't really care. I've been with a lot of people, so I'm like, you know, if you've been with a lot of people, as long as it's not like an outrageous amount of people, like it don't matter to me. You know, your past is your past. Mm-hmm. But for most dudes, they look at that as because guys don't get sex often and women can have sex with whomever they want. That means that they're very loose with themselves. Mm-hmm. And so that means that I'm just like, dudes, you know, you let all these guys have access. Why does
it matter?
It only matters because it's like when...
If I show you test results that I am completely clean and whatever... To me personally, that should only be the thing that matters. Especially if I don't ask you who the fuck you've been with, it should not matter because obviously, if you haven't been with anybody, it's gonna show during sex. It's going to show. Yeah. If I haven't been with them, it's going to show. But if we're about to do it, and I show you something or you show me something. We clearly have had sex. Somebody in this damn room has had to have had sex with somebody to have any ounce of experience. I should not care who you've been with because at this moment, you're with me. You are mine in this moment. I don't give a fuck if you fuck Sherry, Carrie, and Latricia. I don't care who you did.
See, now
as long as you're clean.
See, and see, like, with a lot of that, right? So, say, for instance, like, if a chick has, like, 10 bodies, right? 10, 15, whatever. Dudes will have absolutely no problem with having sex with her. The problem that they care about is having a relationship with her, because they view that as you let so many dudes have access to you that and they're insecure with themselves, and they're like, well, if I know that you let all these dudes have access to you, if we're in a relationship, what's going to prove to me that you won't let other dudes have access to you, even if I'm with you?
But what about for the woman's standpoint as well?
What do you mean?
That goes to his point. That goes to his point earlier that he was saying that,
because like dude, which I mean, understandably, like women can
do exactly whatever they want,
because I understand it. I understand it way more for women to have that assumption with dudes, because dudes don't get play as much as women do. But it also kind of just depends on the person. A lot of the times too, it's like a lot of women don't automatically assume that their guy would cheat because he probably doesn't get women anyways. But I know, like, you know, a woman, she can get thousands of dudes in her DMs, right? And she doesn't have to do anything. And she can be loyal, you know, and just have a whole bunch of dudes just DM her. But if you have a whole bunch of bodies, they view that as, well, you have a whole bunch of dudes to DM you. You may or may not be like, I'll give him a shot.
Yeah, but if a dude is going out, a dude has to go out of his way.
Yeah.
To try to get something. Unless you just like fucking Michael B. Jordan, or some NBA player or something, like somebody in the top 10% of like men. Then you basically move around.
Famous.
Unless you move around just like a woman. Like you have access to every woman. You have access to most things, even the ugliest of women that you know.
Shit, even the ugliest of famous dudes.
Flavor Flav. Flavor Flav is not an attractive dude. And he was knocking them down on that show.
Yeah, because I mean, like for instance, right? He can post a very nice picture.
Yeah.
And the women that might respond to you are people that you know, but you're not going to just get like a whole bunch of people, and they're not going to say anything too outlandish or try to like go on a date with you. You might post a picture, and it might be really good too. And you're going to have a whole bunch of dudes that got like hard eyes and all these other things that they might try to get with you and all this stuff. And you're like, well, I have a boyfriend. But the other thing too is most dudes don't care about that. They'll be like, oh, well, that's good for you, I guess. So what does that have to do with me though?
Basically.
You know? and so that's where a lot of that stuff kind of comes in. Like, that's why I don't really care about like how many bodies you have necessarily. But I do understand where people come from when they have that. But some of it is like being insecure about.
It's definitely insecurity.
Yeah, I'll be me personally. If like, that's why I don't ask the question, because I know if I sit here and then you tell me some outrageous number, I'll be like, so you're settling down. That's how a lot of dudes have that moment of like, you went through, like, you're 22 right now. I'm 24. If I'm like, how many bodies do you have right now? I'm like, I've hit about, let me see, about 57.
Actually, now that you said that actually made me think about something. You know, shout out to It's Complicated. Those guys?
Yeah.
So they went around, they asked women, like, what is a high body count to them, right? So this chick was like, I'm 22, so probably like 50. And she was like, if you're like 22 and you have like 50 bodies, that might be a little too much. And I was like, what the fuck?
That's a little. The hell?
Because the thing that's crazy about it too is like, you have to think about it. Like, at a certain point,
how did you get access to all these damn people?
Because you had to have started like early.
Either you started early, or you knocked it out the park in a couple years.
Yeah, because and that's another thing too. That's what people look for age also with women, right? They say, well, how many bodies do you have? Now, how old are you?
You got 10 bodies and you 30, that makes sense.
Right, that's not a problem. But if you have like 30 bodies and you're like 22, that's a bad look. Sometimes. And that's all, and sometimes it's a bad look for dudes too, to have that many.
Some people got different versions of wilding out too. Some people go off to people go off to college and they wild out, or people go off and like get out the house or whatever and they wild out. They wilding out period might be just 3 people. Just 3 people that they rotate and then be like, I was wilding out in college.
Yeah. But in my way, the reason why I don't necessarily care about how many bodies you have is because, like, especially if you're in a relationship with somebody, you've had sex with that person a shit ton of times, more than you can count on your hands. You might have been with 10 people, but out of one of those 10 people, you might have had sex with them like over 100 times. So at that point, it really does not matter.
Right.
Apart from maybe how old you are and how many you have. But I mean, it really doesn't matter like that. Also, niggas don't know how vaginas work, so they think like it's just gonna always be loose. And
I remember when they, when they were
that.
spreading that shit around early in the game. They were just like, "Bro, she loose, so it's not good." I even heard shit in high school, like not in college. Niggas talking about somebody was loose and shit wasn't good. Then I realized that you just weren't stimulating that woman. You weren't getting her.
Bad.
You weren't getting like this. The reason that it was bad, I understand. If one of my homies, you told me that the shit was bad because she was a pillow princess and she didn't do nothing, or she just couldn't like she couldn't suck dick. She
just laid there.
She just laid there, and then didn't even and then just let me have my way with her. Like it's kind of like that. If that's what you wanted to happen. Like, because some people just like, they don't care. Like, they'll go in there and be like, shit, I just wanted to hit it from the back. That's all I wanted.
Yeah.
But if the arch was trash, you going to talk about it. you gonna like, if something was trash.
Regardless, you're going to talk about it regardless.
Yeah. If you tell me that, like, the reason it was bad was because it was dry and it was loose, something ain't right. I was like, something wasn't right. Something wasn't happening.
Yeah.
Because her being loose could just be her being relaxed completely. But then once if you just not there.
Either loose or shit. Like, maybe you just not fitting in the puzzle piece.
That too.
Too.
Or maybe, you know.
Or somebody came before you that was bigger than you.
Fucking destroyed the shit.
Yeah. And sometimes also it's position.
Oh, yeah.
Positioning also changes things too.
Yeah.
But definitely there could have been a fucking Chad that just came in.
Giga Chad.
Fuck the whole game up.
Shit, either Chad or fucking a dildo. She might have got one off before you got there.
That too.
And was like,
that could be the actual case as well.
Because then and whoever her dildo was might have been a lot stronger with a lot more features than you.
Bob.
She's
Bob the Builder.
Bob the Builder.
Can you fix it? He did.
You're funny. Nah, it was like you pull that out and then be like, all right, I'm ready. I'm just throwing a hot dog in the tunnel at this point because I can't do nothing with it.
You just go in like
you like this shit feel a lot different. Huh. This is not enjoyable.
You got an echo in here.
Echo.
It's all blowing air out. You just like, what the hell? How I open you up and you already farting? How is it already doing this? I don't understand.
Yeah, no, it's definitely it's a lot of that stuff. It's just dudes that just don't understand different things because they probably just don't care to understand this.
But the ones that do care to understand are the ones that's getting it.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you do understand, and you aren't. Not only are you not threatened by the external things, but you sit there and you're chilling. Yeah. And you know how to use that to your advantage. Because I was saying about I was listening to something. It was like. Black dudes, we have a complex where we're very like ignorant to certain things, and then especially when it comes to sex, I say like us. I wouldn't say the black dudes, guys in general. When it comes to like sex, we like get ignorant to a lot of things, especially if you working with a monster. Then I heard a lot of women that would be like, dudes that working with a monster don't know how to use the shit, and then the people who aren't doing that, they know how to figure the shit out.
But that's because you got to compensate somewhere, you know. It's just one of those things where you got to like okay, well, I know I'm not working with a lot, so I got to make this memorable.
We were made simple yet complex, which sucks. It's like we were made simple, and the times it get complex is when your shit not working the right way. You're like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, it's weird.
It's like it's super simple until it's like, the hell. What's happening to me?
That's never happened to me before.
It's only happened in moments where I understood.
Yeah, like well, no, I take that back because I think I was stressing out a lot, and you know that's happened.
Yeah, I've only had that
one instance.
Yeah.
But like, because and what a lot of women need to understand too is there are different factors as to why that happens. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's stress. Sometimes it's being tired or exhausted, and all these other things. It's not always just you.
And the energy is off and you can feel it, you can sense it. So your buddy's not going to get up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And this is like damn, this was rushed.
Yeah. And for some reason some chicks think that like I've heard with some chicks like, oh well, you're gay. That's why you couldn't.
Like,
get
are
it
you
up.
not attracted to my body that you can't get up?
I've been told when that shit happened to me, I was told to take care of it myself. I was like, this really just makes me.
Fix your shit.
This really makes me not want to do nothing with you.
Get it together.
You still follow through, because you're like, well, I guess I gotta do it on my own.
And the thing, it is funny. You're like, okay, fix it and come back. I'm like, okay. And you just go have a meeting with yourself. Look, man, I don't know what the fuck you're doing, but
like, look, man, just let me talk to you for a second.
This is pussy in front of us. Why are
You punching yourself. You just like, oh, come on.
like Quagmire?
It's like, I just need to.
when he was
He
trying to
was
get,
trying to
with
get back
Lois, and he put the bump. He was like,
Like, this doesn't feel right.
Doesn't feel right. He's like, what's happening?
No,
She
what
was like,
happened?
She told me she trusted him. He was like,
he's like, you what?
I just wanted to hit and quit it, but god damn it.
You have to hit it and quit it. That shit funny. Well, shit, did y'all have any last things to say before we wrap this one up?
Shit, not really. Just understand. Try to understand people's bodies. Honestly,
Communication.
Communication. And quick one little thing is it goes with communication. Men and women have to work on accepting criticism. A lot of women don't want to accept that they're bad at sex because they just think that they're the bomb. But if you show them if you tell them any criticism, they get mad. Dudes, from what women say, dudes need to word it right and women need to word it right as well. Just because I'm criticizing you and telling you what works for me and things like that, that doesn't mean necessarily that you were bad. It just means that these are things that you might need to work on or something like that. And people need to understand and be receptive of criticism.
Mm-hmm. Gotta be upfront with your stuff. Can't be coming out of nowhere and be
I'm
like,
great.
Yeah.
This pussy was the cake. You know?
okay. Okay.
Like what? All right.
That's women energy as a whole.
Yeah.
This pussy's fantastic. Don't worry about it.
Exactly.
It's
It's
always
a you thing.
It's a
Right.
you thing. You can't
What
get
if-
your dick up. That's crazy.
Yeah. There's like, this is magic.
You see, I took one nipple out. Your dick should be standing at attention.
I touched your knee.
I touched your knee. I graced you.
You should
with
be
my
bricked
presence.
up. I touched your knee.
I blew you a kiss. What is it? What is that? What are you doing?
That's funny. In reality, we both got to be on that same energy. If I pull out my nipple, your nipples better be hard. If I pull out my kneecap, I need to see you sweating.
Yeah, bro.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. That's you sweat when I pull out these kneecaps. They out today. Hold up.
In the podcast.
See a little sweat.
In the podcast.
It's not because she's hot. It ain't hot in here today.
Nah, it's warm. It's
I
nice
am
in here.
burning up, okay?
You brought it up. It's
Oh,
that
she
li-
looking at them knees.
It's that liquor. It's making her feel some type of way. Y'all, whoever watching the video version, see how many times she been staring over here. But nah, we appreciate y'all coming down. We appreciate Haven for coming through for another 2 episodes. Actually, y'all catching the last one that we posted. Whenever this is posted, it'll be coming out. Probably next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, next week.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, so whenever y'all listen to it. So whenever the streets
We'll
listen
figure it
to it,
out.
we appreciate Haven for coming down for another episode, giving us some insight from the woman's perspective. We always appreciate those things because obviously we don't know everything in these streets.
I do.
Except for Derek. Derek knows everything. So if y'all want to know why white milk makes yellow butter, ask Derek.
Put it in the comments.
Put it in the comments. Look it up for us.
Also, why do we have brown eggs?
Why do we have brown egg? That's a question.
Why do brown eggs come from a white chicken?
It's racist.
Put it in.
I'm dead. All right, y'all. We finna get on out because if y'all haven't gone to the fair, go ahead and hit it up if it's in your city.
Yeah, because
It's about to be gone to Memphis.
Yeah,
Yeah. So we finna
this
go ahead.
episode will not be out when the fair is here.
So we finna go dodge bullets real quick and have a good time.
We're about to jump into the GTA server. Go ahead, end it off.
Dangerous. All right, y'all. Well, hey, follow us on all social medias. We'll be dropping down Haven stuff on the social media. And say, is there anything else that you wanted to shout out for this next episode? Cool. So she's chilling. All right, y'all. As in when it pertains to us, follow us on all social media platforms. The audio version will obviously be out before the video version. We drop those off in the we usually drop audio in the morning and then drop video in the afternoon. So for you guys that's going to work or something like that, I usually know I listen to my podcast on the way to work. A lot of times that's when people catch it. So we drop it around 6:30 in the morning. So if you guys are looking out for that, listen to the audio version, and then if you want to go check out the video version on YouTube, for sure go do that and see what we talking about, see the fits, because we know we coming in crazy, coming in with energy. See, hey, Miss Lovely outfits when she's on here, and then your hair looks great, by the way, baby. But
Thanks.
You're welcome. Your hair looks great, by the way, Derek.
I appreciate it. So do you.
Thank you.
Not twist.
Thank you. Appreciate you, big dog. But everything on social media. Also, make sure you turn notification bells on, right? So you can be notified anytime we drop any type of content. Let us know, and then share with your friends, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And then on audio version is very important. We would like you guys to rate it 5 stars if you can. If you do mess with the content, rate us 5 stars. It moves us up on the algorithm. That keeps us going, keeps our channel growing. So we do not have to sit here and we can push out more content for you guys, because that's the end goal of the day. We want to push out as much content. We got big things we want to do, and we appreciate your support, because that's what helps us do it. So that's pretty much everything on that end.
And also make sure that you follow on TikTok. The more people we get for that, the more that we can push the algorithm. And also subscribe on YouTube, because that helps with the algorithm as well. Because the name picks up as other things. So the more that you guys follow and like and all that stuff, it'll push us up in the algorithm so that you can see our videos better.
Yeah.
But other than that, if you're down with a get down, go ahead and subscribe.